Hello everyone, I welcome you all in the class of English Literature, chapter number 12, that is poem. And the name of poem is The Trees Are Down by Charlotte Mew. Now the students, see, this is the photo of Charlotte Mew. Student Charlotte Mew was an English poet whose poetry often deals with the melancholy of her lonely childhood. Her poems, characterized by their beautiful and expressive imagery, won literary acclaim from her contemporaries. The Farmer's Bride and The Rambling Sailor are some of her well known poetry collections. Now, students, come to the poem. Now, come to the summary of The Trees Are Down. An unspecified group of people is cutting down grand trees at the furthermost part of a group of gardens. They have been doing so for days, causing a ruckus that includes saws grinding against the tree's branches, swishing to the ground, crashing tree trunks and leaves that rustle as they are trampled. So The Trees Are Down by Charlotte Mew is a 5-stanza poem about a reaction to the cutting down of the great plane trees at Euston Square Garden in the 1920s. The poem starts off with a biblical quotation mentioning a command of not hurting the earth, sea, or trees. This emphasizes the importance that Mew gives to the trees that she is so very broken-hearted over. The Trees Are Down is written in first person to help the reader feel more connected to Mew's emotions as she describes her reactions to the falling trees. It is important to her that living things be given the opportunity to live their lives without interference. Now, students, come to the first stanza. The first stanza of The Trees Are Down does not wait very long to dive into the topic. The very first line mentions exactly what is happening. They are cutting down the great plane trees at the end of the gardens. By getting straight to the point, Mew is establishing that the topic is of importance to her by directly letting the readers in on her mental conversation. The details of every little sound that could be heard from the site imply that she was probably listening to the noise more than watching the scene. And knowing that she was very much against the cutting of these trees, it is very possible that she felt the scene too offensive to spend time looking at it. Also, by describing every sound the trees made, she is giving validation to the trees and their existence, recognizing that they are more than just plants. They were living beings that had been cut down, and every sound that they made as they fell was a reminder of the cruelty they were facing. The concluding thought of the stanza states that the loud common laughs of the men above it all. This is a powerful image as it is a very striking contrast to the gloomy description of the falling trees. The image also accentuates the cold and heartless attitude of the men who were cutting the trees, highlighting their insensitivity for the dying trees. Now, students, come to the second stanza. It jolts the reader into a memory of a long past spring. See the line 5. Mew narrates an encounter with a large dead rat in lines 6 through 8. She claims that when she saw this dead rat, she remembers thinking, alive or dead, a rat was a god-forsaken thing, but at least in me, that even a rat should be alive. This memory is relevant here because Mew is trying to deliver the message that is something as vile as a dead rat deserved a chance at life. How can people be so brutal as to kill trees in their season of full bloom, when they are of most benefit to our environment, when they are the most alive? Humans are the most selfish of beings. Humans in general do not treat other living things with the same compassion they expect to be given. So, as a result, the relationship between people and the environment they live in is nowhere close to being ideal. Mew picks up on this idea and is very passionate about the fact that all life should be given the chance to live and flourish. Why must some things suffer for meeting the needs or wants of the others? This stanza clearly exposes to the reader that Mew felt very strongly that those trees deserve to live. Stanza 3 is longer than the first two, mainly because of the structure. This stanza is quite broken up in terms of its sentences, which resonate well with the topic of cutting the trees down. The opening line of the stanza speaks of the workermen again and how they are oblivious of the fact that they are killing these trees. They don't seem to grasp the situation the same way that Mew is viewing it. The fine grey rain mentioned in line 10 is echoing the mood of the situation at hand from Mew's perspective. She uses a stark contrast again with the grey rain and the green and high tree to emphasize how unnatural it was to tear down these trees. The dark sky could also just be a sign of the unwanted end for these trees. The last three lines of this stanza refer back to her memory of the dead red because in her mind they are related for the reason that she believes they both should have gotten the chance to live through spring because spring represents new life and beginnings. The last line specifically mentions that had the rat got the chance to live in the season of life, then she probably never would have thought of him ever again. However, because she felt a hint of injustice had been done to the rat, whenever a scene of injustice in terms of being given the chance to live and thrive in spring appears, she cannot help but connect the two. Now come to the fourth stanza. The trees are down displays Mew's attachment to the trees is a symbol of the spring that she held so dear. Line 17 exposes Mew's feelings about the tree's relationship to spring. She proclaims that spring was not unmade or ruined because the trees were being taken down. Moreover, spring was in them from root to stem and they were great trees. So spring was not affected by the trees going missing because it was a part of the trees whether they were standing or fallen. Lines 19 and 20 expresses Mew's discontent at the workers because she emphasizes their cheery demeanor as they bring down these trees. She is not impressed that they do not realize the enormity of their actions. They are taking the life of these living things. They are killing trees, yet they go about with their hoops and hoes, conveying their indifference as they cart away the fallen trees. Line 20 specifically states that the part of spring, as she identified it, left with the trees. This is important because Mew did not suggest that a part of spring died, just that it left because wherever the trees go and whatever they are used for, the spring will be a part of that. Now, students, you can see the picture. Come to the fifth stanza. The fifth stanza is the final stanza of The Trees Are Down. It is also the longest. This stanza focuses on how much the cutting down of the great plane trees impacted Mew. This stanza is full of emotion as Mew reveals how much it hurt her to see those trees go. She had known them for half of her life, and they were present for the obvious literal changes in weather, but also the changes in her personal good and bad days. Those trees were a part of her own personal history, a part of her past that can never be revisited or changed. So the disappearance of the trees is like a disconnection with her old life and experiences. Mew's emotions are really showcased in lines 25 through 29, where she paints an image of the quiet rain as though it was mourning the loss of the trees and the other forms of the life, like the birds and insects vacating the dead trees. The stanza concludes with her hung on the biblical reference of not hurting the trees. By ending the poem with the reference she started the poem, Mew is bringing her readers full circle to show them that nothing truly ends. Everything has a cycle and continues to exist. What better way to highlight her message than to remind the readers that she just does not want to hurt the trees. So students, I told earlier also that it is an unspecified group of people who is cutting down grand trees at the furthermost part of a group of gardens. They have been doing so for many days, causing a ruckus that includes saws grinding against the trees. branches swishing to the ground, and all the things. So the trees are cut down every second that time. So, students, here the explanation of the poem is completed. Now, do your question answers and exercises of poem. And now we will meet in next chapter. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you, students. Bye bye.